this game. So the game started with Italian opening, knight f6. So this is one of the most common moves from black's perspective. One is knight f6, another is bishop c5. So knight g5, that's I would say it's a typical move like most of players at this level would choose. So it won't target at f7. It looks like weakness. But thing is, if black know how to deal with this attack, white will lose the slight advantage in the opening. So the correct move from black is d5 first of all, and this is what the player played. That was a good move. And after white taking the pawn, black played knight a5. That's a very important good move. So if black takes the pawn, white can sacrifice the knight with f7 and then queen f3, check the king and attack the knight. Black has to move king to e6 if black wants to save the knight, and then white can keep pushing pieces and add pressure at the d5. After knight c e7, white can castle and d4. So white can involve many pieces as possible to attack the exposed black king, and white is better than its opponent. So after knight a5, that's the best move. That's the best move. So bishop check the king and black plays c6. That's another best move. So I'm pretty sure like black knows how to deal with this situation. And well, so now I think black should take the pawn with the b7. The first and foremost, it attacked the b5 pawn. So the c6 pawn can, so black can get some tempo. And the bishop should go back to e2 for the other, like c4 is like losing the bishop, and d3 is blocking the d2 pawn. These two moves are not good. And bishop a4, the bishop doesn't do anything, so it's not good square. And bishop e2, that's the most common move. And then black can play bishop c5 and then castle or kick the knight or queen d4. So black lost a pawn at the opening, but the compensation for black is the quick piece development. So in this case, black takes the pawn with a knight, so it's a bit slow than taking that with a b7 pawn. So bishop back to c4, and white wants to come back again and attack the f7, and that's another problem because we move the knight from a5, so the c4, black is not controlling the c4 anymore. So when white moves back to c4, it's still a problem to deal with this f7. And bishop c5, white castle. So I would say why not taking the f7 pawn? It's a check, and then we can make it impossible for black to castle. So if I play white, I will take the pawn with the bishop. But be aware, taking that with the knight, that's a problem because black can, for example, take the bishop and take the pawn, and then that's a check. So if you go back, and we could check again, and if you move the king, we can check with a fork, and you will lose f7. But if you play g3, I can check again and win the rook. So yeah, knight f7, that's a problem, and black can punish this move with bishop f2. But the bishop f7 is okay. I think that's okay. We can play that. And so black also castle and knight c3. So knight g4. White also want to attack g2 and attack the g5 pawn. So the correct move is d3, protect the knight. We don't need to worry about f2 because we have two pieces protecting that. And h6. So knight ge4 is good. Control the center, attack the c5 bishop, and also support the f2 pawn. So white is better because it has up one pawn and most of the minor pieces have been developed. h3, kick the knight away, and rook e1, control the semi-open file. Queen h4, and rook back to f1. Well, I don't think we need to move the rook back to f1. We have a knight, guarding f2. So I think we can push the pawn to kick the bishop. So if the bishop go back to b6 out of the center, we can move knight to queen f3. We don't need to worry about knight at d4. So we can guard the pawn, and later maybe we can move the bishop to e3 to offer a trade. So rook f1 is a bit passive, and rook e8, I think that's a good move. Divide the rook out, and knight d6, exchange, and c3. Yeah, that's a good timing to push the pawn to kick the bishop away. Keep pushing, bishop e3. Yeah, I like this move, offering a bishop trade, because the b6 bishop is like more powerful than c1 bishop for now. So offering a trade is a good strategy to remove like a dangerous piece of the board. Trading the queens. White wants to turn the game into endgame. I think that makes sense because white has one more pawn than its opponent, and turn the game into endgame. I think it favors white, and black doesn't want to trade the queens. Still trading the queens. Okay, so if we repeat the moves 3 times, that's a draw. So I don't think it's like good choice to accept the draw here if we play as white, because we up on pawn and we have a bishop, opponent has a knight. It's open game, which means bishop is controlling more spaces than the knight usually. So white is definitely better than black. And we can pick the b7 pawn, right? In terms of the pawn structure, white is also better than black. These 2 pawns are isolated and doubled, so we can take the pawn, and we don't need to worry about g2 because this is a light square, and even though knight to f4, like king to h2, we are pretty well defended, and later on g3 we can kick the knight away. So white is better. So I don't think repeating pieces, repeating moves is the good strategy for white. And that's it.